switch on the camera. Yay. Invert. Okay, everyone can see me okay? All right, let's get started, guys. And 3, 2, 1.
You are listening to Musician Today's weekly podcast with Vira Burmenko. Tune in for your insight into a professional musician's life and awesome new music.
Woo! Yeah! Alright, hello and welcome everyone. Music warriors in the business of making music and supporting ourselves through our passion. So today's guest on Musician Today is me. You were just expecting that I will come up with somebody else, but it's me. Well, the reason for that is that many of you guys have requested that I do a solo episode, and also some of my amazing guests are also coming up in this month, and I've decided that that will also give me a little bit of a shift of things to do a solo episode. And also I do have some fun things to share with you guys today. It's not only because I wanted to give business advice, also I wanted to remind you all that this week I have launched my own Patreon, the first time ever. So now you have a chance to help us make more music videos by showing your support. So just to get that out of the way right away, you can find me on patreon.com/Vira Burmenko. Again, it's patreon.com/Vira Burmenko, and you can choose between different tiers and how you can support us. You can make a monthly contribution for as low as $3, and that really helps, and I appreciate all of you who have been with us so far for this amazing project that I just pour all my heart into. And thank you guys for being part of the tribe. So I really can't wait to see what you would say about the things that I've prepared for you inside our Patreon, because there are going to be some videos that I don't post on social media. There are going to be some previews that I don't announce on social media until it's time. So you will be one of those people who will get the early access into announcements and shows and upcoming things that we're gonna have inside this amazing project. Like some of my podcast guests that I'm coming out with in this coming month, I have not yet announced publicly, but if you are part of my Patreon, you will know who it is, because some of their names are really big. And I do mean famous, I don't mean like really long to pronounce. Anyway, so there we go, guys. The topic of today's discussion is on how you can possibly plan your project and make sure that it's successful. What should you do as a musician working on something that you've been passionate about for years, that you just spontaneously fell in love with and stayed forever in? So what do we do? What do we do to make our project reality? Even if you are a very spontaneous person, it is very important to plan. I feel like I sort of have a lucky part of that equation, because I'm not only a performer and don't just like to jump up and entertain, that's a favorite part of mine as well, but I'm also a composer. So I feel being a composer kind of gives me a little bit more of a grounding, because when you write music, what you do is you look at the end result. You see in your head what you want to achieve with it, how far you want to take your music, what it's going to look like and sound like in the very end, and then you work backwards. And most composers that I spoke with are doing the same thing. So that to me is amazing. That's like a formula of success for everything in your life. You look at where you want to be a year from now, 5 years from now, and you start moving backwards from it to where is your first step now. What do you do to take that next step after your first step? So for me, one of the trickiest steps was starting to put myself out there on social media. And that happened about 3 years ago. So until then, honestly guys, I knew it existed, but I had no idea that I could use social media to actually communicate with amazing fans like you, to create a Facebook page that has now reached over 6,000 subscribers, to create a mailing list that I now have over 2,000 people in. So that's amazing. YouTube is kind of still my new thing. Now I'm starting to build YouTube more, and Instagram as well. And I'm starting to see more value in those things. So it's really, really important to take that step and not be afraid of judgment, not be afraid of falling over or failing, whatever failure you think that it is that's going to come out of it. Even if you do fail, even if you do post something that you don't like, but that's experience, right? So a lot of younger people, younger musicians, immediate colleagues even, and fans that I talk to often tell me that it's like, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I don't want to sound like I'm bragging. To which I say, yeah, like if you're taking a picture by an expensive car and saying, oh, that's my new Porsche, deal with it, that's more of a bragging. But if you are working on music and you're saying, hey guys, I have a song coming out next month, sign up with my YouTube so you don't miss it, that's not bragging. That's just you telling your consumers what you're going to have for them in a month so they get ready, right? You're building your following, you're creating something of value, right? So first of all, if you don't tell people about what you're doing, how are they going to know? Right? So if you don't show them and you don't tell them, they're not going to know. They're not going to know that you're working really hard for 12-hour days just to pay the bills and make sure you have some funding to produce your music. They're not going to know that you're so passionate about this project unless you tell them, unless you show them, right? And what better way to do it than social media, than send an email, then write an article about it, then post a video, live stream about it. I've found live streams to be very, very helpful, and also because they allow me to connect so close to my fans. Let's face it, guys, we live in a world where most people are lonely. Why? It's because we're so busy. We have created so many daily activities for ourselves where we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to post this, we have to go to work, we have to do this. So everything is like step by step already planned out, right? That's another side of planning that we're going to talk about. But unfortunately, when you come home at the end of the day, unless you're with a family, of course, if you come home at the end of the day, you're really lonely. After you did all your work, in the end, we're just lonely, right? So what happens is that social media has created that outlet where you can go online and talk to the people and feel really close to them. So, well, of course, we have to be wise about how we do it, but live streaming is sort of like one of those outlets where I'm live right now and it feels like I'm just talking to you in person. So that to me is amazing. That's amazing value. That's creating genuine connection, right? So why video is so powerful? Why live streaming is so powerful? It makes a huge difference. Even just grabbing a guitar, grabbing a violin, playing something raw, a raw idea of a song that you just have in your head and you're fiddling around with. That, for me, usually achieves more engagement than, posting something that's well produced. And the reason for that is I think it's because people see that it's genuine, that it's in the moment, that it's a piece of life that you're sharing with them, that moment of your creative process. So that is invaluable, absolutely. And I recently listened to the Online Musician podcast with Leah McHenry, where she talked about that actually, how when you're an artist and you don't have expensive equipment to record yourself, you only have a phone, that's enough to start putting your ideas out there, to start promoting your music, to start, posting some videos of you just like writing a little song and not being afraid that you're going to be judged for it, because you will see that it will be far better received than you thought it would be. So one thing is, don't be afraid of judgment. Don't be afraid of being braggy. You're not bragging. You are telling people about your music. You're telling people that are already involved in you in that way that you are creating something for them they should be excited about, right? So that's not bragging. The bottom line with social media, the bottom line is, if you don't show them, if you don't tell them, if you don't post, how are they going to know that you have an album coming out? How are they going to know that you're working very hard to produce these amazing projects that you're so passionate about? And 3 is, how are they going to know that you exist? That's another thing we're going to talk about as well. So social media is a great tool, but it has another side to it. From all the people that I talk to, and especially that comes to mind right now, is my interview with Chloe Trevor, how she talked about social media is like a two-sided coin. So it's great on one side because you get to reach all these amazing people, but 2, it could get overwhelming. Right, it can burn you out And that's true. And I think that someone as established as her and definitely needs help with their social media, as in they probably need to hire a team. I really hope she's doing that because she deserves it, right? She's amazing, and I've learned so much from that interview. To me, I'm thinking I'm doing a lot too, so I can completely agree and relate to what she's going through. The only thing is that I don't have as many followers. But the process remains the same, right? The initial process is the same. You have to post regularly. You have to post intentionally. You have to post a certain number of things in your day. It depends on what music you make. Depends on what kind of, interactions you have with your audience. So you have to be strategic about it. And how do you know what to post and how much? You have to do your research. Ask your audience. Talk to someone you know. Try things. Just start trying things. So for me, a huge breakthrough was when I started making live videos about a couple years ago, maybe more than a couple years ago. It was it was really fun, and it was also experimental because I didn't really know what I should be doing at the time. So what I did, I started playing cover songs. I started dressing like the characters in those cover songs. So you see some of those Johnny Depp dress-ups pictures of me? That was at the time that I played Pirates of the Caribbean. Dressed like Jack Sparrow. Then I did a few metal covers and I painted my lips black, and you guys probably remember these. If you've been following me for the past couple years, then you definitely remember these. So for me, it was just something I had to do to break out of this box that I've put myself in, because I didn't know, and I didn't even consider putting things on social media. But as soon as I started doing that, I felt so much better. You will always get some kind of crazy feedback because there are people on the internet that are just there to troll, but that's fine. Don't let that discourage you. It's just one comment out of 1,000 or 2 out of 100. Like, does it really matter? You get to choose what you listen to, right? So most of my supporters are so amazing that I get the best feedback, and thank you guys, even on things that I don't think are so great, but that's fine. It just shows that we are on the right track. So hey everyone. And yes, absolutely do it. Get yourself out of your comfort zone. That's really, really important. It's an important planning process of your project. You have to get yourself out of your comfort zone. Yes, it is true, Canadian Music Pulse. Thanks for watching. So I started doing those. I also started doing practice tutorials, just videotaping myself practice. I still do that. Now I have a little better lighting, a little better angles and stuff like that. I have a camera stand, so it looks way better. And yes, we do choose what we listen to. So I am absolutely happy to the process I have established right now. It's more structured. It's more organized. It's still crazy, and I find things to do in a day that I have half an hour slot to record a video. I'm gonna do it. I have this time to do a live stream now, so I'll do it. Even if it's nothing that we scheduled before, like our important live stream this Sunday. So by the way, guys, tune in this Sunday into our live stream on Facebook, where I'll be playing you 2 concert versions of our songs from the album, and some of them you'll hear today as a recorded version for the album to be on the CD, to be for listening experience. Then there are also different versions we create for live performances for the show, right? So those soundtracks are a bit different because they create a foundation for us to have more of a pulse and beat reference, so we can just entertain and jump around and be happy all together. So yes, I'm really excited to share those. If you have not been on my Facebook, that's where I have my biggest part of the tribe. So go ahead, check it out. It's Vira Burmenko Violin Dance. My Facebook page is titled Vira Burmenko Violin Dance. And thank you guys for watching live right now. Thanks for your feedback. It is amazing. I am really amazed at how we grow in just the past few months. I really wasn't so positive about it first because I felt like I'm trying things and I'm grinding and it's not growing as fast. And that's just a normal thing that you have with any new idea on YouTube or Facebook or any other media. If you start creating new content, you have to give it, like Gary Vee says, a good 18 months before it starts to take up. and that's true. I've experienced that firsthand. So first stages of your any idea, any business, any brand, they are experimental, right? So you got to be prepared to be sort of, to not get anything out of it for the first 18 months, and just to keep consistently doing what you do. So again, guys, go ahead to our live stream every Sunday, 12 o'clock Toronto time. We are on Vira Burmenko violin dance page. And what we do is we recap weekly podcasts when we have guests. We entertain with covers. I play some of your requests. I play some of my favorites. I play some of the songs from the album, which you can listen to and download even for free, each individual song on viraburmenko.com/music. So go ahead and enjoy it. Some of you have written to me already how much you enjoyed the songs, and I'm really excited because we're now creating music videos for them so that you can enjoy them even better, even more, with the fullest experience. So yay, really excited about that one. So project planning. So what I can say from the experience of planning this album and planning every step of it, a lot of it is still not finalized, and that's okay. But being a big planner myself, I do like to have an outline. I need to know where I will be next year. I need to know where I'll be in 5 years. I need to know where I'll be in 10 years. Even if all of that is going to change along the way, I still like to have a plan. It's kind of the same way that I approach musical composition. I am seeing all of it in its final form, and then I take the steps back. So even if in the end it's going to sound different, which is what happened between me working with Jacob and me seeing it as an end result myself. So I would say it came out way better than what I envisioned. I envisioned a certain cinematic thing, but then Jacob brought in certain other things that were more electroacoustic and gave it more oomph, as in more beat, more power. And I really, really like that idea, because that is truly who I am. Sometimes it just takes a fresh set of eyes and ears to see those things and put them into your music. So I'm really happy about it. To be completely honest, I went about this project, I wanted to give it a little bit more spontaneity, because usually when I'm composing something as a composer, as someone who scores music, who writes every single note and instruction down on paper, I wanted to get away from that a little bit and give this project space to breathe. So what I did, and how we still work on it, is I sit at home on my keyboard, on my violin, I write some themes, I create backing tracks, I create a demo audio recording on a very simple tools that I have, the same H4 that I'm recording my podcast on right now, and it sounds pretty cool. It's not obviously a studio quality, but it's good enough to hear and see where I want to take my theme. So I play some background accompaniments on my keyboard with some digital instruments, electric strings, guitar, everything that I like in there, and I play violin on top of it. And then after I like what I have, I send it to Jacob. He has listened to it too. Then we meet at the studio. So at the studio, we decide exactly what we do step by step, which part you want to keep in that style, which part needs a little bit more drum, which part needs a little bit more like some kind of atmospheric pad on the background. So all those things are really, really fun to do, especially when you have amazing equipment like he does. So something that I dream about having in the near future as well. So what we do is we are actually being super creative in that very moment, and we have to make decisions on the spot. And I love that because it's quite different from all the other composition projects that I have been involved in this far. And I'm still happy to sit down and write every single note, especially when time allows. But usually there isn't much time to do that, and that's okay because the nature of this project is a mix of cinematic and warrior themed gypsy metal. So what that allows me to do is allows me a lot of space for bending the boundaries and a lot of space for improving, a lot of space for just spontaneously throwing things on top of it. And I think that really speaks to who I am altogether, not just as an artist and composer, and just altogether, all at once. So I'm really happy you guys liked it. This part that you've heard. And before I talk too much, why don't we have a listen to one of our songs? Do you guys remember Horseman? I think you do. And the reason I want to play this one is because soon we have a music video coming out. Yep, it was shot with a live horse in a real life landscape. We like to use green screen a lot too, but this one was actually done in a real life setting. So I'm really grateful to all the people who just like volunteered to be there and gave us their horse for the video. It was amazing. Teddy was so good. So here it is. Let's have a listen to Horseman. All right. So that one I really like. To me, it's a perfect like driving song or riding song or anywhere you're going. It really has direction. So I feel that that's the theme with most of my music on this album. I want to have a sense of direction. So that's why it's warrior theme to me, because a warrior is someone who goes on the adventure, on the quest to fight for what we believe in, right? So to me, that is kind of the story of my life. Is I want to make the music that I love. I love entertaining. I love playing for my clients, like what we did last night. We had a beautiful wedding. It was so fun. But I also love to create my own original music. So that to me is a path of a warrior, is to find a way to do that while you're still providing service for others. So that's it. If you guys would like to hear the version for the live show, the concert version of this song, tune in tomorrow to our live stream on my Facebook at 12 p.m. It's going to be on Vira Burmenko Violin Dance Facebook page. We have our weekly live streams on Sunday where we entertain with live covers and recap some of the podcast interviews we had this week. And yeah, speaking of which, guys, last week I had Matt Bell. We had an awesome show and it was really fun. So the following week we have another amazing guest that I will introduce to you on Thursday, and I can't wait to bring them in. They're all amazing and I'm just so in awe of how fantastic these people have been at responding my requests. And thank you guys so much for watching too. Thank you to my guests for tuning in, for sharing their invaluable experience. I am learning so much through this podcast and I really hope that you are too. So please do send me your questions. What you would like me to ask our guests. What would you like to talk about? What kind of questions you have that we can really address together and tackle together and learn all together, right? So for our song promos, I think that's it for today. Now let's move on to the next step in our project planning. So as I planned my songs and I heard them in my head and I saw them in my head in that way, but then after I meet with Jacob, my producer, we go through them and he throws these ideas at me and I go like, oh, I really like that. Oh, whoa, I really like that too. That really moves it to the next level. And then I can completely see the whole show coming together. So to me, that is an important step. So another thing why I think it's really important to share your ideas and to put them out there and to try to get feedback from your audience is because you have one perspective on things and someone else might bring in a totally different perspective, and that will change your world for the better, right? Change is always for the better. Do not be afraid to come out of your shell and change. Become the butterfly. Step out of the cocoon. And it really helps, especially as someone creative, someone who creates content, someone who creates original ideas, original music, original videos, anything, films, whatever you do. It's important to step out of your comfort zone and work with your team. Make sure that you're listening to everyone. And of course you can choose if that's not something you want to pursue, if that's not the idea that works, but it's important to listen. To me, that's kind of one of the best things about being a musician. It might seem that we're all about making noise, but yeah, that's there too, of course. But to me, the most important thing about being a musician is that you have this experience in listening. So listening is far more important than making sound in many places, because when you listen, you are able to perceive far more than people who don't listen. And to me, that is a true purpose of being a musician. Part of it is because you know how to listen with experience. It could be something that comes naturally to you, but still with experience and training, it becomes far more, you become more proficient at it. So there we go. Listen, keep an ear open, always keep an ear open. I have a funny story to tell about listening too. So once I got an ear infection on my right ear, which is on the other side from my violin. So I woke up one day and my ear was blocked and I couldn't understand it. Well, I know that it's this ear, but how come I can't hear anything? So the only thing literally that I could hear was me, my fingers scratching my head, and that's all. I went to the shower, the only thing I could hear was the water dripping and my fingers scratching my hair. So I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be deaf forever. So I obviously not, it went away eventually. But what I realized is that my left ear is so used to the intensity of my instrument being right here, right under it, that the hearing dropped to maybe 30-40% at most. And my left ear, its job is mostly to listen to my instrument. It's to listen to my inner self, right? Or my instrument, my sound. So when I listen to my surrounding my environment, it's my right ear that does most of that job. And that was a kind of like interesting discovery. I knew about the fact that when you practice violin every day for many years, you might lose hearing on the left ear if you play it the traditional way. But I never thought about it after that. I remember my teachers mentioning it many years ago, but somehow it just never occurred to me. And when I had this experience it was maybe one day that I couldn't hear. The next day got better because I did some treatment on my ear. But it was funny to discover that it's actually true, because the intensity of your instrument is so close to your body, so close to your ear, that the resonance, the vibration, the frequency, the high pitch that you play, it really affects your hearing. So to me, that was just a reminder on the true purpose of music. Like, if I went deaf the next day, I know I could still play. I know I could still write. I know I could still create music and it'd be no problem. Because not only we have technology today that will allow you to hear, but also because I know how to listen. Because what my music experience in my life has taught me is how to listen. And that to me is one of the most important things ever. And then you can decide which things to do, which to take seriously, which not, because you will hear a lot of stuff, face it, but it's really, really important that you listen. And how can you listen? Is by asking the people that are around you, your fans, your supporters, to give you feedback, to, listen to your music and say something about it. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of criticism. It's not necessarily criticism. Just ask them to give you one associative word about the song they just heard. Like Horseman, to me, it's like writing. It's definitely a travel song to me. So yeah, even things like that. It will help you put your ideas together. It will help you plan better. It will help you be a better musician because you listened. So that's what I have to say about listening. Cherish your hearing too, as well. But if you do go deaf on one ear, it's no problem because you have another. And it's really good. So. All right, so moving on. Daily planning is very close to project planning. Like if your project is a long-term project. So my project, I know, is going to take me at least 5 years to come to full fruition. So we're already 2 years in. I'm happy by that. My first year of that was launching my social media strategy and making sure I do it consistently. I think we're there now. I do things pretty consistently and I get the feedback that I desired. So thank you guys for being a part of it. I'm really happy everything works. Now I'm going to translate what I did on my Facebook to my Instagram and YouTube, right? So yay, really excited. By the way, sign up on my YouTube. You can find me Vira Burmenko. You can find my videos. You can find me dancing on the Russian festivals with my violin and my original songs that are in the style of, Russian, Ukrainian folk. So those are really fun. Have a look. Vira Burmenko on YouTube. You can't miss it. That's it. I don't have a custom URL, but you can find me anyway if you just Google my name and type in YouTube. So yay, I'm excited to share more. So I'm translating those strategies to everything else and it seems to be working, so I'm really happy about that. Of course, it will get better. Again, I'd love to hear from you because I'm a musician, because my main thing is listening. So please do write to me. Please tell me what you think of my project, what you think of the songs you heard, what do you think of my Patreon too, right? So year 2 of that was recording my music and we're done with that. So we recorded the album that's going to be published on a CD and posted on iTunes so you guys can stream and listen. Whatever you heard already on my website will now be cut properly and put on the album. Yay! So that's exciting. That's coming December for sure. And what's the next step of this? What we're doing now is we're producing concert tracks, those that you will actually get to hear one tomorrow in our live stream on my Vira Burmenko Violin Dance Facebook. So go ahead, check it out. Join us tomorrow. You'll hear Horseman, but in a concert version, and you will see how much more drive it has. So then we're also producing music videos, and that's actually where I come in with my next topic for today is my Patreon. So not to get too promotional here, I just wanted to tell you how you can help, okay? So you can find me first of all on patreon.com/Vira Burmenko. And if you'd like to help us promote our music videos or help us create a budget for music videos so that we can come out with them more often and with way better graphics, way better tools, this would really help. Because guys, it gets pretty expensive to produce videos. For the last video, and it was only green screen, we probably spent like $1,500 or so. And it gets more expensive from there. So, and I'm paying out of my own pocket. It's no secret. You guys know that I love to work hard for what I believe in, for what I love to do. And I'm not planning on stopping, but what I am planning on doing is that channeling that energy into more focused way, so that I don't have to scatter my attention on doing a million other things that don't serve me as well. And instead, having your support on my Patreon will really give me a peace of mind and some kind of calmness to know that we are good, we're gonna be fine, right? That's one thing too, managing your stress, right? So what we have here, and I will do a thorough tutorial on this a little bit later on, we have options to become a patron. So as soon as you become a patron, you get access to one of my super exclusive previews here, announcements. You will know who our next podcast guest is when I don't tell anyone else, even things like that. So if you want to become a patron for as low as $3 a month, you will get a personal thank you for your support, a video from me, like a short video saying thank you. Then you will get access to our Patreon exclusive posts, updates, and short violin tutorials, right? So you've seen me on Instagram and Facebook post a lot of violin tutorials, and I don't always go into the detail of like how I practice things, but if you're one of those eager students that would like to know more, I'll be posting them here. So like my rhythm permutations, practice scales, how do I approach a challenge, and they will be short, concise, but to the point, and there'll probably even be some uploads of like maybe click tracks and sheet music that I have created in the past for the courses I wrote online. All right, then if you'd like to become a patron for $5, that's a little bit more, you get everything from the previous one. You get everything. Plus, you also get access to free downloads of recorded songs and covers. And it's not the same ones that you already have seen through my emails and website. It's the new ones that are coming out this month. Then you also get access to live show videos and bloopers. So things that I don't always post on social media is some of the bloopers, like things that didn't work, or like, yeah, funny sort of mishaps. You're gonna get this here as well. So you get those two plus everything else that comes with the previous tier. Then our next option is the giveaways, and you can join that for $10 a month. When you join the giveaways, you are going to get priority access to all the giveaways, which means our mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, pictures, photo books, everything that we have created for you guys to enjoy and to, you know, tap into your warrior spirit, tackle your day and slay it all. So then we're also going to have polls to vote on merchandise and cover ideas. So you can tell me what you'd like to hear me play next. And this will be really well done because I will put time into it. It's not like I just click and find a song and just do it spontaneously. I'm actually going to prepare these so they will sound great. So that's why they're on Patreon, because they're different from our weekly cover live streams. So then there will be also a signed photo of me to send to you on your address. So that's been one of the most requested perks. And overall, many of you guys have written to me saying, hey, can you send me a picture signed with you? I'm like, I'd love to. Like, let me think how we can do that. So this is how we can do that. If you show your support for as low as $10 a month, you get a signed photo. Plus, you also get everything else from the previous perks. So all of the other updates that you were already getting if you were like $3 or $5 contributor, you will be getting them plus the photo here for $10 a month. And that is not a huge amount of money, but it does make a huge difference for me, because to send you a photo, I need to actually first order it and produce it myself. I have to spend money on that. And to send it to you, what if you live really far away? And as big as a postcard could still cost some money to send. So if it's a huge photo, I can't really do that because that's probably gonna cost me like $50 to send. So they're gonna be postcard size like this. So I can put it in the envelope and send it to you. Yeah, so I'm really excited to do those. Then we have a $25 tier. That comes with a special song request. So you're a true warrior and you get your advanced song request. So when you tell me a few of your favorite songs, and I'll cover one of them in a monthly video, ongoingly, every month, right? So one of them will be featured in a monthly video. Yay! In our live streams. And not only, I'm not talking about Facebook live streams. I'm gonna do a separate live stream just for that. So yeah, plus you get everything else from above, including the signed photo. So $25 one is really good. It's a really good option. Okay, then we have a producer's credit option. So if you are really generous soul and you want to give us $50 a month, so that's amazing. Because on top of everything else we just discussed, you also get a video credit at the end of every single Patreon funded video. So that means all the other next music videos we will produce, if you are on the team already, by that time your name gets to be on it in the credits forever. Woohoo! And we are very, very, very grateful. There will even be like a message that I will say thank you to the patrons, and I might name all of you there. That would be amazing. So yeah, plus you get everything else from before, all of the updates, all of the exclusive unique videos, all of the tutorials, all of the and signed postcard, yay, with my picture. So there's only one more, I promise there's not too many. Now we have, oh maybe two more. Now we have a VIP greeting for $100 a month. So if you are even more generous, we're very grateful, you're amazing, and that's why you get a short personalized violingram from me once a year. So whether it's somebody's birthday or just a holiday greeting for you and your family, I will record a 45-second video, whether playing your favorite jingle or a 45-second video where I send you holiday greetings, but I'll probably play music because that's more fun. So yeah, then I'll need your email, address to send it to, and details like that. Plus you get everything else from before as well. So everything I just named, you get it as well. Okay, now our last and really cool tier is the Dragon Lord Patron. So what you get is for $150 a month, you're getting a 30-minute face-to-face with me on Skype. Once a month, every month. It's kind of like, you know, going to see your doctor or going to see your friend. Or you and I will talk for 30 minutes every month. We can talk about music. We can play some songs too. We can talk about your life. You can tell me how you're doing. You know, we're kind of like what friends do, right? So I would be really, really happy to do those if you become a patron for $150 a month on our Patreon. So that would be amazing. It's called the Dragon Lord. And I think I misspelled it. Oh well, when do I not misspell things? So, so yeah, plus on top of it, you get everything else that I just named. That includes monthly updates, unique tutorials, previews, bloopers from our live shows and recording sessions, from our video shoots, from everything else we're doing, tutorials on violin, what else, a signed postcard, mailed to you when you become a patron. So will give me, you know, a few weeks to do it, because obviously it depends on how far you live. You might get it in 3 weeks, you might get it in 2 months, hopefully sooner than that. But it's coming, so that will be sent out to you as soon as you become a patron. So yay, really excited to welcome you guys into my Patreon family, and I hope that this has been inspiring and informative for you. So why I think it's a good tool, because first of all, this is not just for anyone that I don't know who just found me online. It's for the people who already like my music. You guys who are listening for the podcast today. It's for those who see the value in it already. So I'm not just throwing it out there into the wild world of internet. This is something I've created for a closer circle of our tribe, where you can already see that this is something you want to see to fruition, you want to support our project, you want to see us make more videos, yay! So that's the main goal here, is to create a budget for our videos and to help us support that budget. I'm still working hard, I'm still paying out of my own pocket, and I'll be happy to do it, but it will really, really help me to have your support, guys, because face it, we can move forward faster this way, right? And we can create more fun videos for you guys. I already have 5 videos planned out, so we're going ahead through with them, and really can't wait to show you. Some of them are hilarious. So as you know, my album is inspired by the Song of Ice and Fire, George Martin, Yes, well, also known as the Game of Thrones. So that's it, especially the first book. I would say most of these songs are inspired by the first book, maybe except for the last two. One that was written while we were finishing the season of Game of Thrones, the last one. So yes, I'm really excited to share this with you guys, and there is a bigger reward here too, which is why we're doing a podcast episode on it, because when we reach our first milestone in here in our Patreon, as a certain number of funding that I would like to have per month, when we get there, I'm going to start interviewing you on our show. Every single patron gets to be on the show. Once a month, we will feature one of our patrons who has contributed. Anyone for $3 or $5 or $10 or $150, you get to be on the show. But you have to become a patron, and you have to help us get there to the goal that I've set for that to happen. So go ahead to my page. It's patreon.com/Vira Burmenko. Don't miss it. So you join now, and that means you get to be on my podcast here. We will talk about your musical interests. We will talk about your life and experience and where you're from and what kind of music you listen to. It's gonna be real fun. So you get to be on the show alongside these amazing artists that I've already interviewed, who are so successful on YouTube and Instagram, and I just look up to them every day. So yay! That's gonna be my first reward. We have a second goal, of course, is when we reach that second goal, I will then produce a music video to a cover song of your choice. My patrons get to vote. That's a big project because that's gonna be an expensive video comparing to all the other videos that we've done. That one's going to be a real quality video, so we're gonna spend time on it. We're gonna probably spend a month or two on it, and it's going to be the song that you vote for, any song from any artist. If we get the more votes on that song, we're going to create a music video, produce it, and release it in the style of the Iron Fiddle Saga, which is our album. Yay! So it's gonna be real fun. Can't wait to do that for you guys. And I really hope that this breakdown of things of what I'm doing right now, step by step, complete disclosure, gives you also inspiration to do that in your music as well, right? Again, what I think we should take away from today is planning is an important step in your creative process. You can't avoid it, you can't miss out on it. Create yourself a strategy. Try to see the end result. Imagine where you want to be, where you want your project to be a year from now, 5 years from now. If you can think that far ahead, then visualize it where you want to be, and then step back, take the steps back up until the first step that you have to do right now, up until that first step that you have to make to get there. And don't worry and don't panic and don't be afraid of change. Change is the best thing. Change, evolution, mutation is how we grow. All of the living organisms on our planet grow through change. If we didn't change, we would probably still be living in caves. And some people do. By the way, stay tuned for this Halloween release of our epic cover that I'm not gonna give away just yet, but look out for the posts about it on my Facebook, on my Instagram, on my YouTube. So you can find me everywhere as Vira Burmenko. On Facebook, it's Vira Burmenko Violin Dance, that's our page. Vira Burmenko on Instagram, then YouTube, you can look me up by my name as well, and you will find my channel, I promise. But most importantly, go to my website at viraburmenko.com, and that has links to everything, and our Patreon too. So if you'd like to become a contributor today, I applaud you greatly, and I'm so grateful and thankful for you doing that, because that's going to create a future for our music, and that means that we can come out with way more videos way faster. So right now I'm producing maybe 3 videos a year, but I would like to do maybe 6 or 10. I would like to do a new video every 2 months or every month even. That would be dream come true. So to help me do that, I do need your support. So if you'd like to see more videos from us, go ahead, come on and contribute, right? So welcome aboard. Go to my patreon.com/Vira Burmenko. Don't miss the exclusive unique previews, announcements, and posts that I do not do on social media. those that are still way too secret to be revealed, those that I hope that will bring more value to your life as well, including the unique tutorials and a signed copy of a postcard that I will mail you when you become a patron for over $10. Yay! So can't wait, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for epic new guests that we have coming up this next weekend and all through the month of September. September is packed with awesome guests. I can tell you now that on this September 21st, we have a very unique team that makes special spirit drums, and I bought one of their drums, so we might actually play something for you during the show. They're coming on the show as well, so spirit drums. They're coming in September. Then we have an amazing violinist, and I can't tell you yet, but I will tell you on Thursday who it is. We have another amazing violinist. We have lots of amazing violinists. Well, because I'm a violinist, a lot of my guests are violinists that I've learned from on social media, that I admire and watch almost every day, and absolutely love their music. So stay tuned, guys, because it's going to be an exciting month. Then in October, we're doing a feature for quite a few of our local talent. So we have an amazing singer-songwriter, Ariana May. She's coming over in October, and she's probably gonna play something for you guys, so tune for that one. We have my family, my sister, and her production team, who have just come back from a huge tour across the festivals with their Marked Web series. They won a ton of awards. My music is in it, so I'm really excited to feature them in October as well. So stay tuned for that one too. We have one of our own team members on the show. We're gonna have Shin very soon, and yes, he's gonna share with you guys some of his melancholica inspired projects, where he creates cello riffs for young rockers who want to play rock on the cello and teaches them how to do it. So that's gonna be fun, and we have way more coming up. So if you follow the podcast, you won't miss anything. Sign up with my mailing list, join my YouTube, subscribe, whichever platform you like to be on. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on Castbox FM. Find us by Vira Burmenko Musician Today podcast. Again, Vira Burmenko Musician Today podcast, and you won't miss anything. So yay! Can't wait to show you more, guys. I really hope that you have an amazing day, that you're having a fantastic long weekend for us here in Toronto, and I can't wait to see you next week with an amazing episode of an amazing artist too. So stay tuned. You might get a little hint from the shirt I'm wearing who it is, but I will tell you on Thursday. So go ahead, check out our music. Can't wait. Have a great week.
That's all, folks. If you like Iron Fiddle songs, download them at viraburmenko.com/music. See you next time.